Hello everyone. Today's video content is analysis of the real questions of the IIA-CIA-Part2 exam and explanation of relevant knowledge points. The following test questions are all from our question bank, and they were updated on November 24th, 2024. Exam overview. Exam topics. Exam preparation guides. Question 1. An internal auditor identified a significant discrepancy in manufacturing output during an audit. Which of the following is essential for validating the closure of this observation? The knowledge points of this question are audit, observation, closure, and validation. To ensure an issue is fully resolved, it's important to confirm the fix doesn't just solve the problem temporarily, but can be sustained over time. This involves checking evidence that the solution works and aligns with the company's operational standards, helping the organization stay on track. Let's analyze some options for this question. Correct. This is the best option because sustainable evidence ensures the issue is fully resolved and won't resurface. Incorrect. While important, this alone doesn't confirm the fix will last or meet operational standards. Incorrect. Reporting is necessary but doesn't guarantee the issue is resolved. Incorrect. Verbal assurance isn't reliable without evidence of actual fixes. Question 2. The internal audit team is drafting the audit plan for the next fiscal year. Which of the following tasks would most likely be categorized as a consulting engagement? The knowledge points of this question are difference between assurance and consulting services. Consulting tasks are about giving advice to improve processes, like helping set up a risk management framework. This is different from assurance tasks, which focus on reviewing and evaluating existing systems. Consulting is more hands-on and collaborative, aiming to add value directly. Incorrect. This is an assurance task, as it involves evaluating an existing process. Correct. Consulting involves providing advice or assistance, which this option reflects perfectly. Incorrect. This is an assurance task, focused on compliance, not consulting. Incorrect. This is another assurance task that involves checking against standards. Question 3. According to IIA guidance, which element is evaluated during engagement work to determine the effectiveness of an organizational process? The knowledge points of this question are process controls evaluation. A process is only as good as the controls it has in place. These controls help manage risks and ensure the process achieves its goals. Auditors focus on checking if these controls are working effectively and if they're strong enough to handle potential risks. Incorrect. Objectives are what the process aims to achieve, not how well it operates. Incorrect. Risks matter, but they don't directly reflect process effectiveness. Correct. Controls determine if the process effectively manages risks and achieves its goals. Incorrect. The scope defines boundaries for the audit but doesn't measure process effectiveness. Question 4. When presenting audit findings to operational management, which attribute of the findings is most critical for obtaining an effective management action plan? The knowledge points of this question are: communicating audit findings and impact. When sharing audit findings, showing the impact is key. It explains what could go wrong if the issue isn't fixed, helping management see why it's important to act. This clear explanation makes it easier for them to prioritize and create a solid plan to address the issue. Incorrect. Criteria set the standard for evaluation, but don't guide action plans. Incorrect. Conditions highlight the problem but lack context on its importance. Incorrect. While important, the root cause alone doesn't motivate action. Correct. Highlighting the impact shows why the issue matters and pushes for resolution. Question 5. What is the most effective step for a chief audit executive to enhance the coordination of assurance coverage across the organization? The knowledge points of this question are: assurance coordination. An assurance map helps keep everyone on the same page by showing who's responsible for what and where risks are covered. It avoids duplication, fills gaps, and ensures resources are used wisely for maximum coverage. Correct. An assurance map ensures coverage is clear, avoiding overlaps and gaps. Incorrect. This narrows the focus too much and leaves gaps in coverage. Incorrect. This doesn't directly address assurance coordination. Incorrect. Heat maps are useful, but don't improve assurance coordination directly. Question 6. According to IIA guidance, which of the following activities is not appropriate for the chief audit executive to perform in a risk management process? The knowledge points of this question are: audit independence and boundaries. The chief audit executive shouldn't take on management tasks like running risk management programs. Their job is to evaluate and advise, not implement. This keeps the audit team independent and able to assess processes objectively. Incorrect. While oversee may sometimes blur the line between advisory and management roles, the CAE can assist with coordination and provide advice. This is acceptable as long as the CAE doesn't take direct management responsibilities. Correct behavior. This is one of the CAE's primary responsibilities. Evaluating risk management processes ensures they are effective and aligns with the CAE's role of providing assurance. It is an appropriate activity. Correct behavior. The CAE can participate in oversight committees in an advisory or monitoring capacity. This is acceptable and supports collaboration, provided the CAE doesn't take on management duties. Correct. This is inappropriate because implementing risk management is strictly a management responsibility. If the CAE assumes this role, it compromises their independence and objectivity. This is the correct answer to the question. B and C describe appropriate responsibilities of the CAE, whereas the question asks for an inappropriate activity. Since D is clearly outside the CAE's scope of responsibility, it is the correct answer to the question. Question 7. In the draft of a preliminary audit observation, which element should the effect section focus on? The knowledge points of this question are: structuring audit observations. The effect part of an audit observation highlights what could happen if the problem isn't fixed. It focuses on the remaining risks and the potential impact, helping management understand the urgency of the issue and prioritize solutions. Correct. The effect shows the residual risk if the issue isn't fixed, making it the right focus. Incorrect. This doesn't align with the observation's purpose to drive improvement. Incorrect. This might help address the issue, but isn't the primary focus of the effect section. Incorrect. Existing controls belong in a different section of the observation. Question 8. During a project consulting engagement, an internal auditor wants to ensure all relevant stakeholders are identified. Which tool is best suited for this purpose? The knowledge points of this question are: stakeholder management. Rogerg. A RACI matrix is a simple and effective way to figure out who needs to do what in a project. It helps identify who's responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed, making sure everyone is involved in the right way. Correct. This is a proven tool for clearly defining roles and ensuring all stakeholders are identified. Incorrect. A flow chart shows process steps, not stakeholder roles. Incorrect. SWOT is for strategic analysis, not stakeholder identification. Incorrect. Workflow diagrams map activities, not responsibilities. Question 9. Which of the following is least likely to be a responsibility of the Chief Audit Executive after completing an audit engagement? The knowledge points of this question are: post-audit responsibilities. After an audit, the CAE's job is to monitor follow-ups, check for improvements, and see if risks have been reduced. Figuring out the financial impact of recommendations isn't their role. That's up to management. This keeps the CAE focused on oversight and evaluation. Incorrect. This is a core responsibility of the CAE. Reporting the status of follow-up actions ensures transparency and accountability to the audit committee. Incorrect. Assessing residual risks is a key task for the CAE, ensuring that implemented recommendations have effectively mitigated the identified risks. This is well within the CAE's role. Correct. This is not typically the CAE's responsibility. Determining financial impacts involves operational and financial expertise, which falls under management's purview. While the CAE may comment on the potential significance of findings, calculating financial implications is not their role. Incorrect. The CAE is responsible for ensuring that improvements are implemented as recommended and align with the organization's goals. This is part of the CAE's follow-up activities. Question 10. According to IIA Standards, what is a key characteristic of reliable audit evidence? The knowledge points of this question are: reliable and consistent audit evidence. Good audit evidence should lead to the same conclusions no matter who looks at it. It's not just about following documentation standards, but about making sure the evidence is strong, relevant, and objective. Reliable evidence builds trust in the audit process. Incorrect. This helps with consistency but isn't what makes evidence reliable. Correct. This reflects the quality of the evidence. It should lead to the same results no matter who reviews it. Incorrect. This is more about communication, not evidence reliability. Incorrect. Again, this is about process standardization, not the reliability of evidence itself. Question 11. A logistics company discovered issues with vendors' supplied materials failing quality checks. What type of audit engagement would best address these issues? The knowledge points of this question are: vendor management and compliance. This focuses on checking if vendors follow agreed quality standards and meet their contract terms. A vendor compliance audit helps pinpoint where suppliers might be falling short and ensures they align with your organization's expectations. Incorrect. This focuses on identifying risks in processes, not specifically related to vendor compliance. Incorrect. This checks how well operations are running, but doesn't focus on vendor quality issues. Correct. It directly addresses whether vendors are meeting agreed standards and quality. Incorrect. There's no indication of fraud in the question, just quality issues. Question 12. An auditor gathers testimonials from employees regarding workplace practices. What action should the auditor take to validate the findings? The knowledge points of this question are: evidence validation techniques. Employee testimonials are subjective, so it's important to confirm them by comparing with other evidence, like records or additional evaluations. This helps ensure the findings are reliable and not just based on personal opinions. Incorrect. Documentation is important, but doesn't validate the information. Incorrect. It's a good step, but too narrow and not comprehensive. Correct. Cross-checking ensures the testimonials are reliable by comparing them with other evidence. Incorrect. Reviewing might clarify the testimonial but doesn't validate it. Question 13. During fieldwork, an internal auditor documents interviews with staff and draws conclusions. What type of evidence is primarily collected? The knowledge points of this question are: types of audit evidence. Testimonial evidence comes from interviews or discussions with people. While it gives valuable insights, it's important to document it carefully and cross-check with other evidence to back up your conclusions. Incorrect. Documentation refers to hard evidence like policies or logs, not interviews. Correct. Interviews primarily collect testimonial evidence. Incorrect. Analytics involves data interpretation, not conversations. Incorrect. Observational data comes from watching activities, not interviews. Question 14. Which statement best reflects appropriate practices for audit work papers? The knowledge points of this question are documentation standards and professional judgment. Work papers need to support the audit findings, but don't have to follow a strict format. What's included depends on the auditor's judgment, ensuring they're detailed enough to explain conclusions and answer any questions. Incorrect. Formats can vary based on the nature of the audit. Correct. Auditors decide what's relevant to document based on their judgment. Incorrect. While thorough, they don't need to address every possible question. Incorrect. It's okay to include relevant management records if necessary. Question 15. For which type of population is stratified sampling most suitable during an audit? The knowledge points of this question are sampling techniques. Stratified sampling is about splitting a population into groups with similar traits for better analysis. It's perfect for things like revenue streams with different payment types because it helps focus on key areas while still covering the big picture. Incorrect. Locations aren't necessarily diverse enough for stratification. Incorrect. This typically involves targeted sampling, not stratified. Correct. Different payment streams have diverse characteristics, making them suitable for stratification. Incorrect. Tax submissions are often homogeneous, making stratification unnecessary. Question 16. When requesting external consultants to support internal audit activities, which justification aligns with IIA guidance? The knowledge points of this question are resource management in internal audit. External consultants can step in when the audit team needs extra support, especially for complex or specialized tasks. They bring fresh expertise and help handle work when internal resources are stretched thin. Incorrect. While this might justify more resources, it doesn't specifically justify consultants. Correct. When advisory services increase, consultants can provide specialized expertise. Incorrect. Past success isn't a justification for future use. Incorrect. Benchmarking doesn't directly relate to hiring consultants. Question 17. An auditor investigating high employee turnover rates should prioritize which analytical method? The knowledge points of this question are analytical tools for investigating turnover. Benchmarking compares your company's employee turnover rates to industry standards. This helps you see if your turnover is unusually high or just part of the normal trend, giving a clearer picture of what's really going on. Incorrect. Ratio analysis focuses on financial metrics, not turnover comparisons. Incorrect. While useful, it doesn't focus on external industry standards. Correct. Benchmarking compares your turnover rates with industry norms, making it ideal for understanding trends. Incorrect. This looks at financial trade-offs, not turnover patterns. Question 18. In an internal audit report, what should the recognition section include? The knowledge points of this question are: audit reporting best practices. The recognition section highlights what's going well in the audited area. It's a way to balance the report, showing appreciation for strengths while still addressing areas for improvement. This builds trust and encourages positive action. Correct. Highlighting positives encourages balanced and constructive feedback. Incorrect. This belongs in the introduction or background, not the recognition section. Incorrect. These go into conclusions or findings, not recognition. Incorrect. This is an administrative detail, not recognition. Question 19. According to IIA guidance, what is a key feature of risk heat maps? The knowledge points of this question are: risk assessment and visualization tools. Risk heat maps use visuals to show how likely and impactful risks are. They're flexible, so you can focus on what matters most for your organization, making it easier to prioritize and manage risks effectively. Incorrect. Heat maps don't always prioritize likelihood. Incorrect. Prioritization depends on the organization's needs, not a fixed rule. Correct. Heat maps allow flexibility based on what's most important to the organization. Incorrect. This isn't always the case, since priorities can vary. Question 20. How can an auditor test the reliability of a customer database during a control review? The knowledge points of this question are: control testing and data integrity. To check if a database is reliable, look for inconsistencies, errors, or missing data. This helps ensure the information is accurate and trustworthy, which is crucial for making good decisions and running smoothly. Incorrect. This checks infrastructure, not data reliability. Incorrect. Understanding usage doesn't confirm the database's reliability. Incorrect. Policies are important but don't test reliability directly. Correct. Identifying inconsistencies directly tests the database's directly reliability and accuracy. If you have any questions about the IIA-CIA-Part2 exam, please leave a message in the comment area or contact us directly. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time.